Great news for fans of Marvel and characters like Black Widow. She is getting her own toys for the upcoming Captain America movie. And this is really good because, as we've seen in the past, she kind of got dumped from the merchandise and from her own scenes. Her motorcycle scene before had her replaced with Captain America, and in one case, Ultron, which doesn't really make sense. But let's take a look at what is going to be offered. So we have a figure for collectors. We also have something that's not based on a figure shape at all, which is a...
I love this Hot Wheels car.
Hot Wheels car.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. We also have other sets, including a Lego play set, a Civil War figure play set, Marvel Superhero Mashers Mashup Pack Assortment featuring Black Widow. She's shown in some pretty interesting ways, which is packaged with specific characters who might be on the other side or maybe on her side, back and forth. Toys are always a great place to look if you're wondering about where movies could possibly go, and here's another chance for that.
Whether or not the issue about, including Black Widow, I guess, in her own action figure solo, that's one thing. I, for one, am really glad to see her included in the set with the other characters. That, to me, was the most important thing that really was problematic about Ultron. The fact that, like you said earlier, she was replaced on her own motorcycle.
She was written out of her own scene.
I mean, that to me was crazy, and she is as much of an Avenger. By the way, sorry, I interrupted myself, but I was just thinking about how heavily featured she is in the Civil War trailers. Mm-hmm. She's very much front and center, and I find it so curious that they would feature her so heavily in these promotional materials and then theoretically take her out of the toys.
Well, there is a line between the toy makers and the people making the movies themselves or the trailers themselves. We've talked about this before on a different clip when we were going into the Where's Ray. People were tweeting about that. People were having problems. She's clearly the main protagonist of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and she was conspicuously absent from a lot of sets. And
her own individual
Monopoly,
action.
We have that doll set from Target where she was replaced by just some random stormtrooper. And it was odd. And then one person who had gone to the toy maker meetings said that they were specifically told, you can't make her, she won't sell, don't do it, you're going to do this.
Right.
So there are different people making the decisions, telling people what they want and what they will get. And I like to see that we're noticing some amount of change here, which is you should reflect what the film shows. So if the film shows Rey as the main character of Star Wars, she better be in the merch. And if the film shows Black Widow as a very prominent character, she should be reflected.
Absolutely. Well, and it seems like such a no-brainer, and it's unfortunate that it had to sort of come to this crazy backlash of, Ultron and Star Wars. But I'm glad that there was, and I'm glad that people were talking about it, and I'm glad that, it appears that Marvel has heard what people are saying and are not going to make that mistake again, and as they shouldn't.
There is a line there between the business people and the creatives who are making decisions as, what is the narrative voice of this film and what is going to be reflected later business-wise. And I don't like that. I think that creative voice should be listened to, it drives me up the wall to be told by some corporate suit, what I want and what I want to buy. I'm telling you what I want to buy, and I've said this before how I dislike that, but I'm happy to see that there was a change made, and I'm looking forward to seeing the merchandise in stores. And then we have more coming along. I think there's a Black Widow activewear line coming from her universe, which
I want to buy, actually. I was like, if I could work out and feel like Black Widow, like how cool would that? I want to do that, and also I have red hair, so. It'd be like cosplaying at the gym.
It'd be like the easiest cosplay on earth.
I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah. Well, I listen to the few times that I do go to the gym, I have superhero movie soundtracks playing the whole time.
That's brilliant.
And it pumps me up. But that is something totally different. What we're talking about today is Black Widow will be included in the merchandise, and we are so happy to see that change and so happy to have people's voices heard on that. So look for that soon. Audience, what do you think of this and about making change in general? Let us know below in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more.